taking on this weekend's walk, starting with my 65 litre Osprey pack, which I have had for a couple of years now. One good thing about this pack is this top comes off completely, and because I'm only going overnight I don't need to take it with me, but it is also really good when you do take it, because down, so you can take that off, and it's got several pockets, so on a long trip it's fantastic. But also you can turn it into a little wee day pack, and so if you are somewhere that you want to leave your big pack and perhaps just do a detour off the track or whatever you're doing, you just turn it into this little wee day pack, and you might just take your lunch or your valuables along with you. And of course it's not obvious how you do that, because I've never actually done it. Just go. It really is quite obvious. Just having a bit of a brain fade there. So those clip in there, and nothing in it presently, but there I've got my little pack, and so if I want to take my valuables or my lunch, there's that tui again, there. This is a great pack. One thing I like about it, it's got this mesh on the back and it holds it away from your body. Hard to demonstrate. But that is sprung out from your body, so you're not going to get so hot carrying it against you, and there's a lot of places that you can adjust it. This goes across your chest, and these big things to go around your waist, that's your waistband. Each one has a pocket, and I might keep some snacks in there. I also keep my personal locator beacon in there as well. So first thing to come out, and no particular reason that I keep it in this bag, it's not a dry bag or anything, but it doesn't need to be. This is for my stove, cup, and a spare canister for cooking with a little titanium spork. Super lightweight. This is the only eating utensil I take. I don't take any kind of knife. It has got a bit of a serrated edge to it, but I've never put that to the test. So I'm not a foodie in any way. I'm not the slightest bit fussy when it comes to food. And I'll just show you how this works. So nothing special about the cup. When I lost my last one and needed to buy a new one, this is all the shop had, so I just grabbed it. A spare lighter. Actually take 2 lighters. Now I did forget the lighter one time altogether, and so that was all in there. And in this little bag, this is the jet boil stove, and you simply spread it out, which you'd perhaps do before you screwed it on. So I use this for cooking, for boiling water, and for eating from as well. I don't take an extra plate of any kind. Like I said, I'm not fussy about my food, as long as it's warm, and especially I like to be able to stop wherever I'm going to and just enjoy a cup of tea as well. So this is an ACR personal locator beacon. It's in case of emergencies. It just does what it says, rescue link. So if I get into trouble, I can activate this and it goes to a control centre in New Zealand. It goes, I think it's in Wellington. So in the backpack there's a pocket in there. I'll show you shortly where I can put this water bladder. I'll fill this before I go. It's a 2 litre bladder, and that'll be plenty. Sometimes I'll also take a water bottle, and this is I like to use this because you can have it hanging, just the thing hangs over your shoulder, and so as you go along you can just sip it and you don't have to stop to get a drink. Now, by way of food on this trip, dozens of tea bags so I can have my cups of tea, and it is only one night, so normally I'd take something that was dehydrated, but tonight I'm going to be trying out a tortellini, creamy mushroom and bacon, some kind of a pasta. It's not something I would normally eat at home, but it's not something I'd normally take because it's got the liquid in there already, so you've got that extra weight of the liquid. But I don't have much to carry. I'm only going for one night, so I'm not too worried. For breakfast, I tend to use these little one serve porridge oats in here, and I'll take a handful of nuts just to chuck in it as well, just to give it some more body. And aside from this food, I'll make a wrap to take as well with some kind of a salad wrap, and I'll take some snacks. Okay, so very basic toiletries, and also very, very basic, given where I'm going, medical things, and it does have an emergency blanket and some painkillers and a few band-aids, so it is very basic. This is a tiny towel, a microfiber towel. This is my silk sheet, very, very lightweight, and it's inside out. This goes inside the sleeping bag, and it's astonishing just how much warmth this has. Oops. That's it. Inflatable pillow. And this is, I don't even know what this stuff is called. You can see through it. It's got a bit crazed because I've been using it for months. But I put this down underneath my sleeping mat, and it just gives that extra layer of insulation. And this is my sleeping mat. So it's an insulated thermal sleeping mat. So that's the basis of my sleeping system with here's my bag, a sleeping bag. Now, I've been talking about replacing this one for a long time. I bought this about 30 years ago when I lived in Australia, and it was a very, very good quality one at the time. But I think it's not so warm now, or I'm just getting a bit softer as I get older. And it's a down sleeping bag, so you see the size. I love the size because it doesn't take up much room when I'm bikepacking as well. This fits inside my handlebar. And this is quite nice when you're choosing your sleeping bag. Having the back is longer than the front, and so this can sit over the pillow and put on your shoulders. And I know some of the new sleeping bags now have a whole hood thing going on, just extra comfort. And if I fold it loosely, that's how big it is. So you can see just how much it squashes down to go in here. And I've also put it in a compression sack as well to try and squeeze it down more, but it doesn't. That's about as small as it gets. It's always a trade-off between the warmth and the bulk and the weight, all of those different things.
So now it's time to start preparing my backpack. I use a 40-liter backpack. It's not a rigid backpack. It's less than 500 grams. It's from Germany, it's very good. So let's start packing one thing at a time. First, I will start with my sleeping bag. My sleeping bag is a down sleeping bag. It's rated to 10 degrees, and for the temperature that we are going now, it's very good. I like it because, as you see, it's very packable. Look how small it is, and I can even cinch it a little bit more, and weighs about 500 grams. As a pillow, I use an inflatable pillow because it's super light and super small and very packable, and I found this one very comfortable. Another very important thing about the pillow, it has a strap that goes around my sleeping pad, so it doesn't run around when I'm sleeping. Yeah? So that's another very important thing. And since this will going to use them lasting, I put them in first. Then goes my sleeping pad. It's an insulated sleeping pad. It's not necessary for this time of the year, but I have one and use it for everything, and it's very comfortable. Eh? Now, it's time for the tent. I remove the poles so I can pack it inside my bed better. It's a two-person tent with double wall, because I prefer it double wall. And it's very light, and it's about, I think, a kilo with the poles and stakes and everything. So now we have the sleep system in, we have the tent in. So now the next thing to go are the clothes. Eh? I put the clothes in like this. And second thing that goes in is the cook pot. The cook pot, I have a titanium cook pot. Inside here I have the gas, the stove, which is with self-igniter, and I have a canister stand inside here as well. Just in case I have a small lighter, just in case this one doesn't work. Eh? This one goes here as well. Continue with my cook system. Here I have a skillet, I have a plate, and for this time I'm taking a lid as well, because I'm going to cook something a little bit complicated for camping. Normally I don't use dehydrated meals because the mold are very limited, and at the end, as you can see, I like eating. So I try to cook some real food which is more enjoyable to eat. Eh? Goes here as well. Now, what I can put outside is the rain jacket, which is very light, and it's not going to rain, but I always take a rain jacket because at the end it can go above my clothes. So it will act as a wind cheater as well. On the outside as well, I have my cook kit. It's a very funny printed bag, but when you need it in an emergency, you know which bag you need to grab. This goes outside. Another thing that goes outside is the first aid kit. I have everything inside and a little bit more, but I like it that way. 10 stakes go on the outside as well. I use the MSR groundhogs. The poles will go on the outside here. And later I will put my water as well. On the other side I will put my camp chair, because I'm not going to trek so far away, and this will give me a lot of comfort when I am on the campsite. It's ready as well. So now what I have, since I'm filming, I have electronics, spare batteries, power bank. Another good thing is I have a pump to inflate the sleeping mat. Not because I'm lazy, but like this I'm not introducing any moisture inside the insulating sleeping bag. As well, if I do like this is the pump, and if I do like this, it's the light that goes into the tent, and it goes up to 400 lumens. Okay, I have some spares here, like guy lines, some more rope, just in case. I'm not going to make fire, but just in case I need to make fire, I have a fire starter as well in here, and lots of cables to charge my electronics. And this one I leave it here. In here as well I have my head torch, my power bank, cables and batteries as I told you before. And these will go on top, just in case I need them while trekking. These are here. This is my lightweight wallet, so I leave it out because I need to put cash inside. Very importantly for this trip is sunglasses and a hat, a good hat, and this one even has to protect my neck because here in Malta the sun is very strong. I'm going to take with me the knife. It's very good, it's good for everything, even in case of an emergency. Another plus that I'm going to take with me is, I will show you when I'm there, it's a lantern, gas lantern. Since I'm not going to make fires at this time of the year, this will give me a nice ambience light. Very importantly, I have the satellite messenger, because like this I have peace of mind for me and for my family. Just in case I don't have reception, I can rely on the messenger to say that I'm okay, or if something happens they need to contact me. I have this one as well, and this will be clipped to the outside of the pack. Like this. This goes here to the side. This will leave them out. This I can put it inside as well. I take as well a windshield because sometimes it's windy, and this makes it more easy. And especially since what I'm cooking with will take time, I need the flame not to lose warmth or heat. And the last thing goes in is my sleeping bag, and it goes here because this elastic part here you can put a lot of stuff and this is ready. These I can leave them outside. Now that the pack is full, I place it on floor. So before I go, what I have to add is the water and what I'm going to cook, because I need what I'm cooking. It's in the fridge because it's going to be a super delicious meal, and I will put it last, so when I go it stay a little bit fresh, okay? Shower, change into hiking clothes, I put the food and everything in the bed, and now I go to the garage. So with my car I head to my destination, and I'm really excited because I have super good food today. Oops.
Let's see. Yeah, it's still quite cold at night, so I will bring a warm sleeping bag with me, and I hope I will find some trees near the lake, because I intend to sleep in a hammock. And this is no ordinary hammock, it's quite special, and it requires an inflatable sleeping pad. And I used to bring a inflatable pillow with me as well, since it fits so well in the hammock. I also need some cooking gear. My plan is to barbecue a piece of meat, so I will bring this and a leather stripe and some chains to adjust the height so I don't burn the meat. I will show you on campsite how we do that. And yeah, for breakfast I will use this fry pan and coffee pan for morning coffee, very important. And then plate, cup, knife and fork. I think that's it. That's it. So what more do I need? So axe and knife, since I need firewood, of course. And I will probably do some bushcraft as well. When it comes to lighting, I will have my headlamp, a lamp I used to have in my hammock, and a lantern just for the coziness. Yeah, and of course I always bring my first aid kit with me as well. I think that's all. So, everything is packed and I'm ready to go.
Here we have my sleeping bag. It's a really high quality Dawn sleeping bag, 850 Tanaka from Cumulus, which has a comfort temperature to minus 14 degrees. And for sleeping, I take my merino shirt and my merino trousers, and then I have a Dawn trousers, also from Cumulus, and a Dawn jacket, which I wear over the merino stuff, and then it's gonna be really warm. Hopefully. So for the Dawns, it's better to leave them spread and wide, but for the trip, I'm able to make them really small. So it's really lightweight and really small volume. And then for the pillow, it's just a pillow cover, so I can put whatever clothes I have left. I can stuff it here, and then I have a nice pillow. Good. So for the stuffed bags, I use these ultralight carbon-like material bags. They're from Hyperlight Mountain Dew, and they're waterproof, so I can put all my stuff in here and they are not getting wet. So I put my spare clothes I put in this bag. No. So I'm gonna come. My cat also wanna come with me, but this time I'm going alone. Yeah. For shoes, I wear these here from Lova. It's quite lightweight. They are not completely waterproof, but it's fine. They dry quite easily when it's warm and dry or the sun shining. And then I have this jacket from Arcteryx. I really like, and it's really good for rain weather, which we have now. I'm not sure, maybe I take some gloves, I'm not sure yet, because it might be pretty cold where I'm going. Let's see. And I'm also not sure, this is a rain cap, which covers both the backpack and me. I'm not sure yet whether I take that or not. Then I have mattress, which I pump myself, and it's a really nice mattress from Thermarest, I think, with the isolation value of R something around 6. I like it really much. And my tent from that packs, it's also really lightweight. It's only 600 gram, and some tent sticks here, also lightweight, made of titanium. And the tent needs a stick, so I'm taking this stick as well. This tent needs a stick. And then I have my hygienic equipment, like toothbrush and hairbrush and stuff like that. Some toilet paper, wet towels, and a microfiber towel, which is also lightweight. And I put it all in everything. This comes in front of the backpack, because yeah, I need to have access every time to the toilet paper, of course. Then I have some valuables, like a little bit of money and my ID. 2 liters of water, which I hope is going to be enough. Then for the evening, I plan to have some dinkel pasta and tomato sauce, or as an alternative I could have vegetable noodle soup. Let's see. For breakfast I make some porridge or some cold muesli with some dried fruits. And this is a luxury thing. If I'm going only for one night, then I sometimes take a smoothie because it's very heavy to wear. But if it's only one night, then I really enjoy in the morning a fresh smoothie. And some muesli bars for in between when I'm hungry. Then I've got my pocket knife, another knife. You can never have too many knives. my first aid pack here. A diary for the evening if I want to write down some thoughts of mine, and of course a headlamp. Then for my neck, I always wear these kind of buffs, like this. So I just take many of them, and then I'm really warm around here. And for my camera equipment, I have my drone and a tripod and a camera. As this is a really nice hat, which I'm not sure whether I take it because the weather is going to be really rainy, but sometimes it's also nice to have a hat when it's rainy and you don't get all the water inside your face. Then I have my cooking gear here, which is really small. It's just a spork, spoon and fork. Then it's a sponge, fire, some dishwasher which I can use for everything, also skin and hair and clothes, and which is 100% biodegradable. And then I have my ultralight cooking gear, which is 25 gram. And I have my cooking gear here. It's a light titanium pot and a 230 gas canister here inside, which perfectly fits inside. So now I have everything with myself, and normally I also take this one with me if I'm hiking for more than 1-2 nights. Then this is for charging my batteries and accus and drones and so on, which is really handy. It's a solar charger. But I don't take it this time with me. And now I pack everything in this beautiful 800 gram lightweight backpack, 60 liters, also from Hyperlight Mountain Gear. And it also sits really, really handy and has this pockets, this belt pockets, which I find really handy, and also this net here where I can put stuff which I need access to quite often. So yeah, let's start packing. And the tent comes here because this is the first thing I need in the evening. And if it's raining, I don't want my backpack to get wet. So I close it tightly and put it here inside the net. Also the toilet paper. The water is coming here at the sides. Also, if I need these, they're coming here. Oh, I forgot lunch. I think I forgot lunch. I'll prepare my lunch and also put it in there. Right. So I have my lunch here. It's 1.5 bread with cheese per day and 1 rubbish bag to not leave anything in the nature. And then I'm ready and we can go.
My trip, I'm actually travelling from down in the south, kind of Midlands, all the way up to Scotland, because it's actually one of the last places in the United Kingdom where you're allowed to wild camp legally. So I've got to go all that distance, and because of that I'm going to the north of England, like I said, and it is notoriously wet up there. So the weather can change at any time, especially in the lowlands. So it's always good to be prepared for different weather climates, colder weather because of that dampness. And just, you never know, of course, when you're going out wild camping, things can change. Plans can change, a spot might be different to what you think it's going to be when you get there. And it's just always good to have that bit of preparation in your kit. So there's a lot of kit here, but everything has its purpose. And to start off, I've got things like my camera kit, which is going to mainly be off scenes for most of the things, but I do have to carry that in. From electronics, we can go into stuff like safety gear and other bits and pieces. So in these 2 bags, I've got my, what I call my kind of everyday kind of essential kit. That is kind of, again, behind the scenes stuff, like a little trowel for if you need to dig a lavatory or dig up something, dig a fire pit, for example. I've got a torch, a really small flashlight, really good and bright, and it has a strobe method on it so you can signal with it. And again, I've got a head torch which is rechargeable, and a little survival necklace which has got a whistle, compass, ferro rod, and again a little flashlight torch on there. And I can just wear that around my neck, especially if I'm going on a little hike, and know that I've got everything on me in case something goes wrong and I lose my bag, for example. In this other bag I have things like an emergency bivvy bag. This is a bright orange one, so again it can be used to display or signal if, say, if I got hurt or I found someone who was injured. We can make a call and make ourselves a bit more visible. And in here I've got a multi-tool again, and things like a little lantern just for aesthetics. It's a little candle lantern, and a little air pump just for my air mat. And talking about air mats, I've gone for a normal ultralight inflated mat. It's got an R value just to protect me from the cold on that really damp ground that's probably going to be up there. So again, that will keep me nice and insulated. But in the truck I will have a foam pad, so if something happens to this and I have to hike back to the truck to get my foam pad, there's going to be an option there. Or if when I'm doing my little truck camp when I arrive, if I notice this is deflating, I've got a backup for my trip. So going off of the sleeping pad, I've got a bivvy bag. That will keep me nice and dry. It's a breathable snug pack one, and it just means that all of my gear, like my sleeping bag, is protected. Let's say if the rain came in vertical and did get under my tarp, which it shouldn't do, then at least I'm protected, and I've got just an extra barrier off of the ground, and I can put my sleeping pad in there, my sleeping bag in there, and I'm nestled in a nice little kind of cocoon almost, and it just keeps everything nice and organised. Now underneath that I will be putting down a poncho. That's again just as a barrier to keep myself and all of my gear dry off of the ground, because it's going to be really sodden up there. Very mossy ground up in Scotland in places, so it's just planning again. And if I did need to, this can act as another shelter. Talking about shelter, I've gone for an ultralight tarp. So this is 4 by 3 meters. It just gives me a tiny bit more protection than a standard 3 by 3. And that's mainly because I've got camera gear. When I'm filming, obviously my camera's on a tripod. Sometimes there's just not enough room under a 3 by 3. And also you get to do some nice configurations. This one's really nice and light, so it doesn't add any extra weight to my setup, which is perfect. And I've got some small pegs and some guy lines with it. And that's basically my sleeping kit all sorted, just in those 3 or 4 items. I've obviously got my sleeping bag in front of me, which is a Corinthia Defence 4 sleeping bag. It's nice for cold weather. It's rated all the way down to -12, so it's definitely going to protect me if the weather does change, because you never know. We have had some swings in the weather lately. Last week it was snowing, and this week it's been +9 degrees, so who knows. But this is going to keep me good and warm. It packs down not too bad in size, and it will just nestle down in the bottom of my bag and keep me nice and cozy for the night. The 2 tools that I'm bringing with me are going to be my knife, my Evo Pro Bushcraft knife. It's got a Scandi grind and it's stainless steel, so I'm really happy about using this in damp conditions. It's a lovely design with a stabilised handle, so again it's not going to bother me about it getting wet. And that's going to be my main tool, alongside with a silky gomboy. This is just a saw. It has got a snapped off tip unfortunately, but it still does the job, and I'm only going to be harvesting small pieces of timber. For my cooking setup, I've just got a billy can, and inside of here I've just got a packet of noodles and some other little condiments just to fill up the space. So that's a zebra billy can just in a nice pouch. I've got a little grill here, which is a folding one, a little trivet. That just allows me to get my things up off of the coals on the fire, allows heat up to rise through it. And if I want to put my billy can on there, I can do, and boil some water, or I can even cook a steak straight onto that. It's going to be perfect. And it's just a nice little bit of kit that I usually carry with me on my little trips. And then to twin with all of that, I've got my, what I call my mess kit, which is a stainless steel bottle. Inside there is a smaller billy can kind of cup, which is titanium, so it's all very lightweight. And in the front again here, I've got things like some tissues, some grips to hold my billy can with, and a fork and some wipes, etc. We've got a first aid kit which is completely packed for kind of cuts, trauma, so I've got big bandages in there, I've got iodine, I've got TCP, antiseptics, plasters or band-aids in America, loads of different things, water purification tablets. It's a fully stocked first aid kit, and in fact on the outside it's even got a survival bracelet which has got all sorts of different tools on there. It's got these lovely little poppers on the back side here, so I can grab it, rip it straight off my pack if I need to, and that's really handy. I've got a wash kit here which has just got a few things, toothbrush, bar of soap, a razor, things like that, and some talcum powder for if I get damp feet. And where I'm going is the country of lochs or lakes, so I've got water purification kit in here. It's just again nicely contained in a bag, and I have a Sawyer filter which is in here, so this is the bag and the filter is just in the bottom. and that will allow me to collect water from the river or the loch and then purify that for drinking. You can also boil it afterwards, which is again really handy, so that is going to prove invaluable. And then I've got my fire lighting kit. So on here I just have a pair of gloves for handling stuff around the fire or going out to collect timber. You never know when you're going to come up against some thorns. I've got a bit of fat wood here, which is an invaluable asset for when it's raining. So even though that's on the outside of my bag, you might think, oh, it's just going to get wet, but fat wood is amazing in the wet. So it's one of those fire lighters I always keep with me just as an emergency. And again, in this dry sack, I have all of my tinder. So again, just another barrier between the damp getting to all of my fire lighting material. And I do just have a little leather pad on there. That's just for fire lighting onto, so I can prepare all my tinder on a nice dry surface. So going on to the last few bits which are remaining now, I've got obviously the backpack which I'm going to be putting everything into. This is a stock 45 litre backpack. It's made by Sport, so it's for the Polish military, and it's got all of this molly webbing on the outside and it's perfect. But with the side pockets, which are about 12.5 litres each, you're adding on again another 25 litres, so it's going up to about the 70 litre range. And then I have another little pouch on the front which probably adds another 10. So plenty of space, and it does extend if I need to. It's got a snow sleeve, so I can get it nice and tall should I need to extend it. And I think with a lot of this kit it's going to fit in without overpacking it, but there might be a few little bits of squeezing in, especially with the sleeping bag. The clothes I'll be wearing for the trip are these here. So I have a rain jacket which will probably be packed in my bag. This double acts as a pillow because it folds into its own pocket. I have a wool shirt, really nice layer, keeps you really nice and warm. I have thermal underlayers and long johns, they're merino wool, and then I also have my trousers, my Bushcraft Fjällrävens that I'll be wearing. So that would be my main clothing for the trip. But then as a backup I'll have a spare shirt and a t-shirt, a thick, nice fleece flannel shirt, some spare socks, spare pair of underwear and some gloves. And that's about everything that I'm going to be bringing. So it's about time I actually start packing up the bag now, because time's ticking on, as it always does. And yeah, let's start playing the old bag Jenga. So that can go on top, and that's my bag all packed. My clothes I'll be changing into as soon as I've done the drive, so they'll just be in the car next to me, because it's not worth me getting all of these clothes sweaty while I'm driving and just making myself colder through the trip. So, get this into the car. I best say goodbye to everyone and be off on my way. later.
Have a good trip.
Thank you. I'll see you on the back. And I'll let you know when I get there soon.
Drive safe.
Thank you. Bye. Oh, it's pissed. Is everything packed? Let's go.
Basically here, guys, it's getting very dark.
Mostly sunny weather. Sounds promising. Love to enjoy it. Amazing scenery.